Hello and welcome to a new Let's Play. Been putting this on hold for maybe 2 weeks, I don't know. But here we are. Let's play Deathmark. One intro. It's like the sequel which I only just recently platinumed, you say. Well, it's got more variety with its endings than this one does. This one only has two endings. You got the bad end and the good end, which is the true end. I assume the same thing's going to be the case with this sequel, because it's got another sequel coming up, and I'm going to assume that the only ending that makes sense in the sequel, this game, would be the good ending. Anyways, so this is Deathmark. I don't know, it feels like one of those kind of visual novels slash kind of adventure game elements to it that's kind of overlooked. I only know about this game because, as I mentioned in my Sayonara Let's Play, which, by the way, Sayonara was like, said, oh yeah, I'm gonna write a song, about Fuminori and be like, Fuminori sucks. Yeah, I didn't get around to that. But another thing I forgot to mention in that Let's Play was another idea I had of, writing out more or less the plot of Sayonara, but in the style of H.P. Lovecraft. But I was like, that's too much hassle, so I didn't do that out. But anyways, like I said in Sayonara, I came across this game via Manly Badass Heroes channel. I stumbled upon him Let's Playing this and maybe quarter way through, so I gotta check this game out myself. So I did, I played it. It's pretty good. A bit flawed here and there, and not perfect. It doesn't really have much voice acting, which is a problem because, unlike when I was Let's Playing Sayonara, I'm recording this on the PS4, so I'm using my capture card, which means I'm also using Audacity to separately record my commentary audio. Which means I've got to sync up the audio, and around voice acting I find it hard to get to the point in the video where it's easy to sync up the audio, because when there's voice acting in a game, or in this case, a novel slash game, because it's kind of a mix of the two, soundtrack just doesn't do it, it just kind of blends in and makes it hard to tell where the audio syncs up. But when there's voice acting, very easy to do, provided the voice acting is loud enough, anyway. But yeah, so I thought, what? This will be the next Let's Play, and then the sequel probably after that. So, here we are. I platinumed this on the 19th of April from the trophy. I just had a brief look before starting here, just to get an idea how long it's been. It's been, well, not a full 2 months, but close to. So, I remember how the story goes, but it's been long enough to the point where it won't feel repetitive for me, I guess. Because, going through the scenes over and over again gets certain things really kind of made it kind of repetitive. Let's begin. Hey, wanna hiccup that? Hiccup? Alright off the bat, I've already messed up the dialogue. Hey, wanna hit up the karaoke place? Sing while getting hiccups? It'd be like someone just going, okay, let's go pick up someone. It's let's go hiccup someone. What? They're Love and Hero songs out. Love and Hero so last. Well, it just seems weird because I've been playing Spirit Hunter NG, the sequel to this game, and in that Love and Hero is mentioned. It's who the hell is Love and Hero? Well, we're gonna meet the character that has somewhat involvement in that. Well, somewhat is what I'm saying. So it's some idol pop group, and then in the sequel you got a character who has they kind of knock them to the side. It's yeah, my song's charting, yours is not. Well, there was, but it doesn't matter. Is there voice acting that I can hear there usually? I'm not feeling up to it today. This story creeped me out earlier. You want to hear it? Oh, sure. Remember Miss Yamaguchi? She wears those big glasses. I heard she's gone missing. What? No one knows where she is? Nope, she just disappeared. Just up and pooped from the library. One of the students' librarians said she was researching something, but then she vanished. But she's super diligent, right? One of the students thought it was weird that she ate up on the beat like that. So he checked in on her. But when he did, the only thing left was her arm. It had a really weird scar, so it's definitely her arm. Yeah, both of these novels have, typos here and there. Even though they've like patched, got like at least one patch to kind of resolve some of the typos and stuff. It's still got a few here and there. A scar? Yeah, it looked like a dog bite. She showed it to me once. She had no idea where it came from. For real? There's a scar like that on Miki's leg too. Huh? Miki? Wait, that's the girl who went missing, yeah. That's crazy. Maybe that rumor is true. But what about the cursed scar? Cut it out, you're scaring me. I hear snatches of an idiotic ghost story. This is our protagonist, by the way. You're swinging. So, are these girls main characters? No. They're just here to give us like a little bit of a summary and rumors going around about the mark. They're speaking seriously, but it's obvious they don't believe a word. Let me try something. Oh, it isn't that button. Which button is it? No, not auto. Which button? It's different in this one. I mean, I suppose it did make changes. Does L2 do it? No, L2 doesn't. Because in Spirit Hunter NG, R2 would open up the text, so you could like look through it again. I can't remember what button. Actually, let me see. This is interesting, you know. For like this, you'd think, okay, you don't really need an instruction manual for it. And I've never come across any instruction manuals in any PS4 game. For some reason, this and the sequel have one. So I was really surprised by that. Is there a button that does that? Yeah, R1 is supposed to show the backlog. But it also does auto on the text, so that's a bit misleading. Oh wait, no. It's options, that's what does it. Okay. I just find that interesting. It's just like, and funny enough, the instruction manual for this is like, it's got a grand total of 5 pages, but I like the kind of, the CG art on there. It's kind of nice. Even though it's in the game, so it's not like unique or anything. But in Spirit Hunter NG, it just has 1 page. It shows you the controls. So I will, to sync up the audio, I'm gonna press circle 3, 2, 1. Just, make my life easier when it comes to it. They're on a killing time. Did I read the big seriously, but it's honestly don't do it. Another thing to note is, unlike a traditional visual novel, you can't save at any given time. You can only save, when there's basically no text visual novel stuff going on. Which is kind of a pain in the ass. Rumors are the best way to do that. Also, the funny thing about, I know I should just get on with the story, but I just giving some backstory here. Well, not backstory necessarily. Just looking at the cover of the game now, and it's actually interesting. I never really played it, but I used to look at it. And it's different actually. Because there is, well, it's not CG in game, it's more of a concept art. But it's in the CG gallery of like all the main characters, but the protagonist dead. And the main protagonist is dead, just like her. And the kind of front cover here kind of looks like that, but the main characters are actually alive. And like, all like, whoa, and stuff. But anyway, I bought the physical version of these games, which surprised me, because I would have thought physical versions for a game this niche would be, you know, impossible to come by, but found it on Amazon easy enough. On the PSN, it costs 30 odd quid. I got it for like 27 quid or something like that. So, yeah. And the same thing happened with the sequel, you know. I can't remember how much the sequel cost. It might have cost. Actually, no, I think I got the sequel even cheaper than that for the physical version. And you know, they're both priced the same on the PSN. Funny enough, when I got the physical version, it was on sale on the PSN. So it was actually cheaper on the PSN for that time. But I still went with the physical version because I like to own physical versions of games. Because, you know, one, it's a nice kind of, you know, it's nice to have a case and a disc, you know, it's nice. And, you know, you don't get completely screwed over if, you know, you bought it on a PSN account and then you lose access to that account and now you no longer have the game. Of course, you know, the trouble with discs is, you know, wear and tear can happen, they can be unplayable. I take care of my games now, I actually put them back in their cases. I don't know where some of those cases are, though. It's like Road Factory Oceans that Let's Play it on my main channel, and I have no idea where I might have just put it back in with all the other PS3 games, or it might have just disappeared somewhere. I don't know where it is. Bugs me when, you know, one of my games just randomly disappears into the void. But anyways, the sun's about to set. Let's get on with the story. It's gone later than I planned. I shouldn't have snuck around to hear that story. I better hurry. Thunder rumbles in the distance. A huge mansion is in front of me. Strange, I'm sure it's just... My vision blurs, my ears are buzzing. My head's swimming, it's almost like I'm drunk. What time is it? I glance at my wrist, but my watch is gone. Did I put it in my coat pocket? But all I find is a business card. In elegant printed letters is a name. Sayakucho Spirit Healer. I also found that kind of funny as well. I mean, I can't remember. I played this maybe before I started to sign over to Let's Play. I don't know. I can't really remember. But you got a character named Sire in this as well. Kind of funny. On the back is a photo of the mansion. I guess this must be Kujo Mansion then. Kujo Mansion, Sire Kujo. Those names sound familiar somehow. One way to find out. Taking a deep breath, I reach out to knock. I stop when I see something on my wrist. Yeah, used to this CG, we're gonna be seeing it a lot. It's a strange scar. When did that? Another thing! An improvement in the sequel over this is, you know, it's got more CGs. This one, and it does have a decent amount of CGs, but a lot of CGs in this aren't really like, I don't know. It's like you'd expect to see a character death get a CG, but you don't in this game. But in the sequel, you get quite a few, isn't it? Pretty great. Look at that. You can just imagine it, but I feel an icy chill when I look at it. My fist pounds on the door. A light appears on a second floor window. It's Probably too far from the door for them to hear me knock. I grasp the doorknob and find it unlocked. No point in staying outside. I'll just go in. I'll apologize to the owner later. Yeah, this novel slash game. I mean, sure, it's appearing as a visual novel right now, but the adventure elements will come into play eventually. Like I said, that's the only point where you can actually save the game, which is kind of a pain in the ass. But you know, it's also on PC. It's like, it would have been more convenient to just get it on Steam, because, you know, then I wouldn't need to use my capture card. But, hey, I went with the PS4 version anyway. I found in my Naruto Let's Play, the volume was all over the place, and I don't know why. Maybe it was because my microphone picking up the audio from, you know, the novel, and they're also recording the audio directly from it. That kind of screwed with the audio a bit. I don't know what it was, but shouldn't have that problem with this. But you know, one other thing to note is, because I'm recording with a capture card, that means each part will have, you know, a proper ending, rather than it just being like, you know, a 2-hour long record session split into 2 or 3 parts or so, you know? Because I'd have to stop recording in between to get to the next part, is what I'm saying. Inside is shrouded darkness, it's just gallery plot. Small beam of light from the window is the only way I can see anything here. It's dead silent except for the constant ticking of a clock's strong second half. It must be in the entrance hall. I mean, I must be. The atrium extends to the second floor. Anyone home? There's no reply to my shout. Maybe they have soundproofed this place so they can't hear me down here. I don't have a clue what I'm gonna do for voices for these characters. Like I said, voice acting is very limited in this game. Novel. I really don't know what to call it, because it's got video game elements, but it's also more visual novel driven. Which is why I'm, you know, let's play on the VN channel rather than the main channel. Guess I need to go upstairs then. Staircase is just visible up ahead. I walk towards it, cutting across the hall. My ears catch a strange noise. I turn to look where it's coming from. Someone's there, enveloped by the dark. I think they're staring at me. Hello? I call out, but the person remains silent. Gulping, I hesitantly make my way over. The vision slowly, I steps. It's a young girl. She doesn't move an inch as I approach. At least it seems that way to me. It doesn't look like she's even breathing. A corpse. Great. Creep myself out. Start to sweat. What should I do? With a shaky hand, I slowly reach out and touch her skin. I'm not sure what I expected, but it feels unnatural somehow. Stiff, cold. I press down on her arm and she makes the strange sound I heard earlier. Ah, now it makes sense. She's a doll. A doll's joints creak when they're moved. That's what made this noise. What a relief, if disappointing. I carefully begin climbing the stairs, making sure not to trip. As I reach the landing, the sharp sound of a bell breaks the silence. It seems to be coming from above me. Looking up, I can spy the outline of a clock. I bet that's what's making the sound. The noise guides me over. It's an antique grandfather clock. The noise is definitely coming from here. I reach towards the glass to check inside. All of a sudden, it stops chiming. Silence descends, broken only by ticking. I guess it's fixed now, but that timing was a little too spot on. Is it really a coincidence? All these strange occurrences make me uneasy, but I continue on to the room with the lights. Stopping in front of the door, I knock. But again, there's no reply. I try again several times, even calling out, but there's still no answer. I push on the door. It's dark inside. Strange. Definitely saw lights on in here when I was outside. Wafting through the room is an odd smell. It's sugary, like a ripe fruit. The whole room is permeated with it. Some kind of aromatherapy, maybe? It's not a particularly pleasant smell, though. The aroma draws me further into the room. You know, it's funny, because of the light coming in from outside, makes the TV look kind of like hard to see the background. I can see the text clearly, but the background is actually more clear on the capture card. Usually the other way around. Sometimes, anyway. Floor under my feet feels off. It's wet. Dawns on me that I'm smelling something else mixed in with that sweet smell. I know the scent. It's metallic tang. Lightning flashes and I catch a glimpse of something. Startling, grotesque object stretches out across the floor beneath my feet. Something strange is there. You know, no matter what you do, you could stare at it or look away. You're gonna see what it is regardless. So let's stare at it. It's so bizarre that I can't stop staring. Yeah, blooming flowers are everywhere. It's a pretty grim way to go. Bursting out of the woman's stomach, her blood-soaked body overwhelming. Oh, I said, there's no death CGs like in this, but there are technically. It's just none of the main cast that we're gonna meet throughout, Because in each chapter, a character that you tag along with has the potential to get killed off. And what I'm gonna do is I'm going to actually have it so that I'll make 2 save files. One for playing through where everyone lives, so we get the true ending. And one where everyone, well not everyone, but a character die in each chapter for the other save file. In order to get the bad end, you only need one character to die. I found out that when I played the game, because I'd screwed up on the very last one and got a character killed, and I got the bad end. But everyone else survived, so I've never actually had I tried, and that's why I said it was kind of tedious, because I was just playing through it all again to get everyone killed off, and I just didn't end up completing it because it was just dragging on. But yeah, I'm gonna do that. Have 2 kind of routes going of sorts. First on a woman's stomach, her blood-soaked body overwhelmed. I wrench my gaze away, horrified, but the hellish image is burned into my mind. I can feel my entire body shaking. Bile rises, I'm going to throw up. In the next instant, the lights are on. But nobody's home. Wait, that's not all. Body's gone, leaving only a sting. This doesn't make sense. It's a bad dream, at least I'd really much prefer if it was. But the faint smell that remains on the bloodstain crushed any hope I had of that. I beat a retreat from the room in an effort to escape this whole bizarre situation. When I stumble back in, all the lights are on in here as well. I decided to have another look around. All the furnishings in here are old enough to be antiques. They match this old-fashioned mansion. Those are some creepy giant eyes you have. A large doll sits on a couch. This must be the figure I saw in the dark. One would easily mistake this for a human if they couldn't see the ball joints. Probably belongs to the owner of the mansion. So what do I do now? Contact the police? Her stomach was full of flowers, sir, and the corpse up and vanished like frog. I can't even believe that.
ようこそ。
Cujo Mansion. Yeah, this is... She has... Well, she doesn't have a lot of voice acting, but, yeah. She greets like that. So she's one of the few bit of voice acting. The doll moved. It spoke. A different kind of shudder runs through me than the one when I found the corpse. Until this point, I was nothing more than an observer to all these freaky events. I could distance myself from it, but now, the doll is talking to me. Have I startled you? If so, I sincerely apologize. My master ordered me to behave as a normal doll and tell no lullabies. The words are elegant and refined, but her face never moves an inch. She may look human, but she clearly isn't. It's like her eyes look significantly less creepy here, don't they? She slightly folds her hands together, so she can move too. I am sorry for not introducing myself. I am called Mary. You have likely seen a member of oddities here already. I see. My master Sire Cujo was unable to escape from the mark then. Sire Cujo, she mean that corpse. Wait, what's this about a mark? Lady Sire was searching for a way to escape. Were you not also called here by her because of the mark on your arm? She must be talking about this weird scar. Sire Cujo invited me to this mansion. I try to remember, my head hurts. He's got amnesia. I have something to tell you in place of my late master, but I would like to ask one thing first. Do you know your own name? Well, that was a much simpler question than I expected. It's... I break out into a sweat. My throat is drying up. Why can't I answer? I'm shocked to find I'm coming up blank. I see, then it is as I thought. Somehow Mary knows what's going on with me. Before I offer an explanation, please decide on a temporary name. Things will go much easier if I have a name of which to go in. It is also likely you will find it hard to remain calm if you are nameless. She's probably right. Better have some placeholder name than continue life as a hollow nameless being. Enter the protagonist's last name up to 10 letters. Of course they got a default one, so I'm just gonna go with the defaults. So you get to choose what it looks like. Not really much in the way of customization. It's the same in the sequel as well. More or less the same thing as well. It's like, okay, do you want a bit of facial hair, glasses, or none, or both? Of course, the protagonist in the sequel is a teenager, and their default look would be that. You know, no glasses, no facial hair. But they also have the options, and their glasses are like sunglasses. This definitely feels like, you know, Type 1 is definitely what they actually probably supposed to look like. Makes the most sense. I'm Kazuo Yashiki. Understood, Lord Yashiki. Now I shall explain to you about the mark. It is the seal of death, hence death mark. I don't know about you, but if you Google death mark, you're not going to get a result for this game unless you specify death mark video game or visual novel or something now, because you'd probably get a result for Rick and Harry Potter rather than this game. You know, I'm in the sequel as well, NG. And like right up on top of the cover, it's like Volume 2 Spirit Hunter. They must have realized when they made the sequel, it's like, you know, this is like basically a series where we like go up against ghosts, so Spirit Hunter will be the name for this series. NG will be the name for the game. I mean, if they didn't add Spirit Hunter onto that, that'd be very weird for a title, wouldn't it? Let's play NG. It's like, what the hell does that even mean? It's like, you have to get right up to the end of the friggin' story to figure out what it means. Ridiculous. Those who have it will soon die. You do not believe me. I am certain this sounds absurd to one who has slept and led an uneventful life. I mean, he doesn't remember anything, so well, he's had an uneventful life or not. Who knows? Well, I do, but I'm not saying. However, my master's death proves it is to be irrefutably true. The corpse's sweet stench comes back to me. We're going to be seeing a fair bit of body horror in this story, so if you're squeamish on body horror, it might not be the novel for you. It didn't seem like the work of humans. I'm afraid that the horror of the mark does not stop there. Victims slowly lose their memories until the day they die. They face death all the while suffering from the terror of losing oneself. Memory loss? That can't be. I haven't mean that Yes, the fact that you have forgotten your name proves that death is coming. Lord Yoshiki, you will die this very dawn. Death Mark. Until Dawn. Japanese version. Except it's nothing like Until Dawn. My memory skipped forward a bit after that. I just remember being completely stunned at what Mary revealed to me. I could probably attribute it to memory loss caused by the mark. Next thing I know. By the way, in the sequel, you think, oh, is it going to be a series where everyone has amnesia? No, it's just in this case. In the sequel, protagonist doesn't lose their memory or anything. I'm lying in a guest room in the mansion. I vaguely recall dragging myself up the stairs and coming here. Must have fallen asleep at some point, and thanks to that, I feel a lot better. I'll die at dawn, huh? I try saying that out loud. It's definitely shocking, but I can't say it feels real yet. Doesn't make sense. Yeah, blue. But if it's true, is waiting for my untimely death the only thing I can do? It might be a good idea to ask Mary more about it. When in doubt, talk to a talking doll. I find Mary sitting in the exact same spot as before. She hasn't moved an inch. I doubt a doll gets bored waiting like humans do. Lord Yoshiki, are you feeling better now? Sort of. Wonderful. Since it appears that you have calmed down, I would like to ask a question. What will you do now? I can guide you down only two paths. The first is to wait for death. The second is to fight the mark. Can you help me? If that is what you wish, yes. My master was researching the mark. A few days prior to her death, he found a way to escape it. Regretfully, she passed away before she was able to inform me. So she doesn't know anything after all. There is some time yet before dawn. You have a slim chance. Salvation is a thin thread dangling from heaven. Would that you would grab hold of it, and I shall do my utmost to help. What will you do? I guess it boils down to whether I trust her. She's right about all this. My time on Earth is up at dawn. If I don't want to die, then there's no other choice but to resist the mark until then. If she's lying, I'll be fine when morning comes. But am I really alright with that? People are being killed in nonsensical, grotesque ways. Am I going to turn a blind eye to it? You know, the sequel shares a few tracks from the soundtrack of this game, but it doesn't share all the tracks. So I have to give this track to play it. It's a nice track. a life or death decision. I need to think about it carefully. Get ready. First, live or die. I mean, seriously, if this game was well known, that would totally be a meme. Because we're gonna be seeing it so many times. It's like perfect for our meme format. Deadly choice. We face choices that can result in death. You know, in the sequel they have the same thing, right? But they don't have it live or die. Man, just have like some warning label come up, and then you just like, you know, gotta pick the choice that will lead you to surviving the encounter. It just doesn't feel as over the top dramatic. It kind of misses the charm. You will be faced with choices that can result in death. There's limited time, the soul power. I wonder, the soul power thing isn't, well, it is a thing, but not really at the same time in the sequel. Because in this game, you can actually increase the time limit, but you can't do that in the sequel. I guess they kind of discarded that bit of the game. The soul power will continue to drain. Time's up, or wrong answers will result in game over. So be quick, but also careful to find the right answer. It's to basically make you like, oh no, panic, panic, panic. Gotta pick the right choice. We're in a time limit. Oh, pressure. Restoring soul power. Doing the deadly choice will restore some soul power. Yes. Interestingly enough, yeah, in the sequel, soul power never really, like, it recovers that instant. You start at 1,000 each time, regardless of... Well, actually, it will go down if you pick a wrong answer, but it doesn't mean death. It will be like the next choice you get if you're still in a choice situation. Will have it much lower down, so you get less time. With each encounter you get in that, it equals 1,000. While with this one, it keeps that way until the end of the chapter, which is a bit more tense. Accelerated dialogue. Dialogue will be fed up while pressing the element. Good dialogue cannot be fed up. I wonder if it's the dialogue you haven't seen is what can't speak to, but I've seen all of that. Well, most of it. I haven't seen all of the deaths, so yes, I have death. Backlog the options button will display previous dialogue. We will randomly change it to the R2 button for the sequel. R1 will activate auto mode to get that sequel, and the speed up button. Hide the dialogue window. You can hide the dialogue window by pressing the button. Then I shall ask you, will you quietly wait for death or struggle against the mind? Such a simple question, isn't it? Now I'm gonna wait for death, just to demonstrate how this works. When you get it wrong. But you see, it didn't go all the way down. Then you make me accept your death by the mark. Because we've got to be, certain of this. Like, yeah. Is that so? It didn't even run out, but it's a real stupid answer, so you're gonna die. And please rest here in the mansion until dawn. You stupid idiots.
おやすみなさいませ。
And you just die, I suppose. Yeah, it's dumb, but you can decide again immediately after. Are you ready to live or die? I love how dramatic it is. And I shall ask you, will you quietly take the death or struggle against the mark? I will fight them. Survived. You survived your potential Darwin. decided to trust you. As you say, Lord, then I shall carry out the dying which showed my master inclusion. I cannot do much, but feel free to request anything you wish. Got any food? I made up my mind, but that doesn't mean I know what I should do. I know squat about the supernatural, losing my memory makes research impossible. But I don't have a moment to lose. It's weird because that bad end, surely this must happen as well. The same thing. It's just like, oh yeah, this doesn't happen if you choose death. That makes no sense. A knock comes from the front door. Who'd come here this late at night? Oh my, what a sign of fate. It seems that other mark bearers have arrived. Is it instinct that she knows these things? Maybe she has some kind of mysterious power, being a talking doll and all. I beg your pardon, Lord Yoshiki. I do apologize, but could you go greet our guests in my stead? They may experience a shock if a doll such as myself welcomes them. Moreover, while I'm able to move my arms, I'm unable to walk. I move to the front door to greet our guests. They will fade to the die like me. I wonder what they're like. Who I find at the door are not who I'd expect to see out this late night. A high schooler. And a small boy. You know, interesting thing about all the characters in this game is, I mean, I didn't get the, special edition of the game that comes with like the art book, which also explains the original idea for certain characters and, give a bit of backstory on characters as well. It's like, they're nothing like the original character was supposed to be. Well, some of them are more or less, but some characters have drastically different characters. This little boy here was one of those. These kids have the mark? No way. We came to see Professor Cujo. Who are you? I can't say I'm a total stranger since I am here in the mansion. I'm... Her disciple. Huh, okay. She's got so much spiritual power, it's no surprise she'd have disciples. She seems to know Cujo. Now that I think about it, that business card did say spirit here. Going off to Skill's accessories, I get the feeling she's a huge occult fan. I'm Moe Watanabe. I'm here to talk to her about this article she wrote in OOP Arts Monthly. She pulls an occult magazine out of her bag. Inside is a picture of the mark. Accompanying article says Scaries. Soul inhibited disease that erases memories. Inquire at Kuzo Mansion. This is the same scar, right? Oh, let's just get up a bit to show me her leg. Right there on her right thigh is the mark. I think I know what the article means by erasing memories. I've been forgetful lately, even blanking on my friends' names. That's never happened to me before. I think this scar's doing it. That article is obviously bogus. Young boy scoffs. Even kids know better than to believe in ghosts or curses these days. When a high schooler fell for it, he must feel embarrassed about that. But Tsukasa, which you hanging around in front of the mansion gate. Fess up, you're scared. Tsukasa seems to have no retort to that. Sound insults. Looks like a bullseye. It's clear they're both mark bearers. I better bring them over to meet Mary. Moe shrieks excitedly when she gets close. Oh my god, it's so cute! It's a doll, yeah? I've never seen one this big before. Craftsmanship is so detailed. It's almost like it's alive. They're both admiring her when... It says both, so maybe it was like both of them talking. But, the sequel kind of goes a bit more in the traditional visual novel when you actually have the name above the text. That's not the case here. We only really get like different colored text indicating when it's like, the protagonist, that's all we get. But from minor when
ようこそ
Kujo Mansion. What? It spoke. With that, the two new visitors join our number and enter this monstrous world that hovers on the precipice of death. Mary tells Moe and Tsukasa about the mark once they regain their composure, all about the steady memory loss and their imminent death. Sounds like a ridiculous story, but a keen's validity coming from someone like her. Both of their faces pale. Now, if you came specifically here because you believe Lady Sai is ugly, you must have already experienced the pain of losing your memories. Moe admitted as much earlier, but I could see Tsukasa's face darken, so it must be happening to him too. Hey, Moe, I'd like to confirm something. Where were you when you got the mark? My amnesia seems to be worse than theirs, so they might remember. I'm not positive, but I think my mark might be a curse from Hanahiko. Hanahiko? This name is familiar to me. He is the ghost of the resident children of this town whisper about friends. My master was interested in him. So Sayakujo was curious too. Could it be connected to the mark somehow? I'd like to hear about this ghost. We will hear about this ghost in the next part. Because, now that I'm, recording with the capture card for our Lex VN channel, it's gonna be much like, the main channel. You gotta stop the recording, because, I don't know, I feel like if we go over 50 minutes, like if I just was like let it record for like, close to 2 hours like I would with the other ones, it'd probably screw up the recording bits. Which is why I try to keep it under 50 minutes. Sometimes it goes an hour long, but yeah. So I'll do it for this first part. Hope you're gonna enjoy this Let's Play. Nonetheless, it's like, if you want to see a Let's Play of this game that, has significantly less rambling, check out Manly Badass Heroes 1, because it doesn't ramble. He basically just reads it, and maybe occasionally make a joke, or comment on something, But you won't be like me, where you just like go on a tangent randomly with that. Or, you could just check the game out yourself. It's on Steam. I think there's a Switch version, I'm not 100% sure on that. It's a PS4 version as well. So you got options. You even got physical options if you want, because you can get the physical ones as well, which are surprisingly cheaper than the PSA, which I found strange. But anyways, shall see you next time, viewers. See you next time.